All right, we are live. It's the Spin and Backfist MMA show, UFC 307 preview edition. I almost said recap edition, but we're not in the future. It's a preview, not a recap. It's Robbie Fox, Jack Mack, Big Ev here as always, and we are here presented by New Amsterdam Vodka. This episode is brought to you by New Amsterdam, the official vodka of Barstool Sports, the official vodka of the UFC, and in our opinion, the official vodka of winning. We've got a champion vodka over here. You match it up with any other vodka, and it's a TKO for New Amsterdam. Whether you're catching the pay-per-view at home this weekend, at your favorite bar, maybe you're going in Utah, celebrate your wins with insanely smooth New Amsterdam vodka. Find your wins with New Amsterdam Pink Whitney, regular New Amsterdam, whatever it may be. It's the best in the business, the best bang for your buck, as Ev says. It's the best. We love it. Thank you, New Amsterdam.
New Amsterdam goated.
It is. There's nothing better than New Amsterdam. Hopefully, some people. I don't know who won the bar cart, but hopefully it was.
Oh, that's right. That was sick. Yeah.
Hopefully, it was a spinning back fist member or fan of, because that thing was sick as fuck.
It was.
And wherever it is now, hopefully it's in a UFC fan's basement somewhere, or in the living room or whatnot.
Yeah, maybe right on the mantle or something, centerpiece of their home.
Exactly. Literally.
How we feeling? We got UFC pay-per-view this weekend. Not the most crazy card we've had all year. Obviously, we just came off the Sphere card, UFC 300, 303 International Fight Week. We've had crazy fights this year. This one, a little under the radar.
It's it's in terms of if you had to rank all the pay-per-views from this year, it definitely would be on the lower end. But I do always say I feel like it's true that these type of cards are usually some of the ones where you get the craziest action, the biggest moments. I mean, you've got a main event where what's the meme? Khalil Roundtree could do the funniest thing of all time. You got one of those, and fighting, you never know. I think that's probably a closer to 50-50 fight than people would think it is. But I feel like we'll get some good action. There are definitely some good fights on the card.
Yeah, no, it's crazy that Khalil Roundtree is fighting for a title this weekend. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, this man was finished by Johnny Walker not too long ago. He got head kicked he had a head kick KO. I forgot against who. I was on the replays on Twitter. Just a crazy turn of events for Khalil, but I mean, he has a right hand. He can connect. We'll get into that fight a little bit later. It's going to be, an interesting card. There's some good fights. There's some so-so fights. Juliana Pena has not done herself any favors this week. It feels like she got dominated even by Kayla Harrison during that whole exchange. On the paper or on the press conference. Shout out Kayla Harrison, who did an interview with Robbie this week. And
check that out on the channel. Yep, it's on all our channels. So it's 10 minutes. Quick watch. Funny stuff.
But outside of that, in the MMA world, I mean, there was some weird stuff with Merab. Merab was saying that Suga hit him up and says he wants to fight him again, rematch. And Merab was like, let's do it. And then everyone said, oh, wow, you're ducking Umar. And then meanwhile, Umar is talking about Ilya. And then Ilya snaps back at him and goes and says, Umar, are you still taking steroids? So there's a lot of just bizarre situations going on throughout the MMA world, as there always is. But, yeah, no, I feel like we'll start a little bit there at the 135, 145 pound division, where there's just some drama.
Yeah. Also the scenes of Merab going back to Georgia, pretty crazy.
Oh my God.
That's pretty nuts. I always like those videos. Yeah. Those are always cool. Yuri, I remember him going back. Remember Joanna going back after she regained a title, I think. Or maybe it was when she won the title. Those videos are always awesome. Seeing Marab get to celebrate. I was with Matt Serra yesterday. I'm going to be on Matt Serra's podcast next week. He has a geek podcast now. And just even hearing him talk about it, he was like, I knew this kid from when he didn't speak any English. I was screaming at his translator, Boris, to tell him one thing. Ray Longo's in Boris's other ear, telling him another thing. And now he's the funniest guy. He's making skits. Like, it is like a cool come-up story for Marab and you know, his whole squad. But yeah, that whole thing was weird. And Umar is such a like touchy subject for Marab. Like anytime Umar comes up, Marab does get a little like, I don't want to say triggered, but he gets a little triggered. And like when people implied he's ducking Umar, he immediately started like quote tweeting and snapping back. I'm not ducking him. No, no, no. Yeah.
And then there's the political aspect of Georgia, Dagestan. He obviously Georgia has its history with Russia, and then Dagestan's a part of Russia now. But Marab feels as if they shouldn't say they're Russians; they should just say they're Dagestanis. But from a fight perspective, yeah, it does feel as if he's a little bit. I wouldn't say ducking him, but maybe he doesn't want to fight him as much.
I think
maybe
he just
knows.
he like doesn't like him. I think he like doesn't want to fight him for that reason, almost in a reverse of why he didn't want to fight Aljo. Like it had nothing to do with the fighting. I think it just has to do with like his personal feelings.
Interesting. I mean, that fight would be. I really don't know how that fight would go, to be completely honest. I think it has an opportunity to be just very boring.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Umar I feel like he's probably a little bit better striker. I feel like I feel like you almost maybe you think he resents him, just that like Marab had to fight so many fights to get that title shot. Umar's like, I mean, he fought Barcelos, and then he fought a dude who like was making a UFC debut, and then he fought Sanhagen. And like here he is now, he's number 2 or whatever he is.
I think that's a good point. He could have some resentment over that.
Yeah, I agree. He's in a weird spot, but he's the champ. So I mean, champ's got to do what the champ's got to do. Terrence Crawford and McGregor. Before we get there,
I was going to bring that up. What the fuck?
Before we get there, Conor McGregor, when he was on the pitch with the Arsenal players, it looked at, and he was like feinting leg kicks at Bukayo Saka. It's like, there was Arsenal fans quote tweeting, and it was like saying, is he trying?
Greer sent me one that was real funny.
Yeah, there was one that was, they called, like, I don't want to say what
something off the pitch. He's going to cost us our like $20 million season or something.
Yeah, and he called Conor. I got to find this. The videos were hilarious though. He was sparring with them as if they were true.
He looked like a kid in a candy shop. He was so happy to be doing it too. He's like smiling and laughing and feinting leg kicks. And the soccer players or the football players, I'm sorry if you're from the UK, we're kind of just like laughing along, but they're doing the classic laughing along where they're like, ha ha, all right.
Somebody said them ones were you, this is just so bad grammar, but them ones where you are fake laughing because you were dealing with someone insane. And then said this blank had nearly ended our season. Who the F let him on the pitch? And Bukayo, as Conor's doing it, was like, no, please. And Conor he kept coming forward and throwing leg kicks.
It almost like reminds me of like how, like, remember in the old office, Billy and like YP used to just break out in wrestling sometimes, and like fights especially too. Like sometimes these guys just like to tussle. I think Conor's just like, I want to tussle with the boys.
And then KB's like that too. And then Bukayo goes in for the handshake, and Conor like then almost like wants to like do a body slam on.
Yeah. For a second, I thought he was going to go for the body slam. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, then the Terrence Crawford shit came out, which like, I feel like that like slowly sort of like trickled out. Like McGregor said it on that stream he did. He's like, yeah, talk to Terrence Crawford. He doesn't want to take the kicks. I respected it. And I heard that and I was like, what the fuck? Did he really talk to Terrence Crawford? Like, who's brokering this deal? It was, of course, Sheik Turkey, who is brokering all the deals right now, seemingly with no regard for contracts, because he can't just like broker a Conor McGregor fight without Dana's permission. Maybe he had Dana's permission. I don't know. But the whole situation just made me laugh how later we just heard from Terrence Crawford himself where he was like, oh, no, yeah, that's true. Like, I don't want to take those kicks or elbows or anything. That made me laugh. And then McGregor said it was $100 million per fight. It was supposed to be an MMA fight and a boxing fight. It was a $200 million deal for each of them. And apparently he turned him down.
You think Dana would allow it if it included a McGregor Crawford UFC main event?
Yeah.
You think he allows the boxing?
I think they would figure out a way to make that Riyadh season sponsored. And yeah, I think they would figure that out.
They'd have to. I mean,
Dana keeps teasing this boxing thing that he wants to do in 2025.
True.
Is that going to be?
Maybe he did have Dana's permission to reach out to these fighters then. I don't know. And Terrence Crawford, by the way, not to be confused with platinum recording artist Kendrick Lamar.
Yep. Do not.
I had to put that in my blog too, that picture, because it was Terrence Crawford and Turkey together when he was on screen. So I put that like, oh, this was a connection or whatever, and then said like, just a clarification again, this is not actually Kendrick Lamar.
Did you refer to him as His Highness or highest or his high, whatever it is?
I didn't. I put a little like, for people that don't know, here's his like official like rank or whatever, or I don't know if that's the right rank. I don't know. Title.
He's royalty. He's royalty.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's just throwing money at MMA and wrestling and boxing and all. He just loves it right now. He's just a kid in a candy store who learned about this for the first time probably a couple years ago and was like, oh my God. And he's just like, he can't believe the world he's in.
Way better than if he was a fan of like ballet or some shit.
Definitely.
This is great.
This is a great thing. Yeah. But imagine what if he fell in love with like football like this and tried to start like a fucking, Saudi football league where he tries to steal players, like the whole PGA Live Tour saga.
Well, they have been stealing players from soccer. I mean, it's not really stealing. These players do play and
paying them way more, right? Yeah.
They offer these top tier players insane amounts of money, like $500 million to play one season.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like
it's fake money. Where does this money? It's like he just has the most money, unlimited, GTA cheat code style.
When you have a society that is just on top of unlimited oil, you run the world. Like it's just like you just run the world. And if you don't like it, then you're not getting any more oil. Like like sorry, like you're cut off.
What else happened news-wise? I mean, you brought up the Kayla Harrison Pena exchange. That was like an interesting exchange because the stuff Pena was saying in response, like, who have you fought? It's easy to get to 17-1 when you fought Cans, whatever. It's not the worst chirps I've heard, but just coming from her, it had no juice. It had no substance, it had no aura. It was just like Kayla was basically like steamrolling her and not even really trying. She was just like, yeah, you debuted in, 2009 and you're 10-5. I debuted in 2018. I'm 17-1. Like, what are you talking about? Even when Kayla said, like, who have you fought? I expected Juliana Pena to be like, hey, I fought and beat Amanda Nunes, but she just didn't. It just didn't come to her, I guess.
Yeah, I couldn't fathom how that wasn't the easiest clapback of all time.
I beat the GOAT.
I'd be like, I literally
pretty good response.
I finished the GOAT in round.
Yeah,
inside 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck have you done?
She's like one of the biggest upsets in the history of championship fights in UFC history.
And that she didn't remember that in that moment to like immediate snap back. Like,
I think she has the number 1 because Strickland's number 2. I think she was more like 8-1, 9-1. Strickland was like only 5 or 6-1.
It's crazy.
Maybe
but pretty good presser overall from the clips I saw.
Yeah, I mean, Roundtree is like he doesn't trash talk. He kind of just like
he's positive. Did you see his Sasquatch video?
Yeah,
I did.
That was funny. I thought that was funny. Made me like him a little bit more than I did prior.
Oh, well, and then MMA Guru is getting canceled on Twitter.
He is.
For which Amy Kaplan is somebody that seems beloved in the MMA community. It was just an unneeded shot from MMA guru.
Dana loves her too. Everyone that's dealt with her, I think she's super nice, and that was, it was fucked up. But yeah, everyone's coming. Everyone's coming to like have her back, which is nice to see.
The only thing is, that's MMA guru. Like, he's not going to stop.
Yeah, that might make him go even harder. Seeing the response, did you see the trailer where Alex was giant crushing the city for this fight? Alex Pereira was a giant crushing the city.
No, that was for the PFL.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's PFL, and I thought the trailer was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that one was sick. PFL's been doing great stuff for leading up. Obviously, we're 15 days away 15 days.
Yeah.
Renato Moicano obviously pulled off the big upset, and then also,
we didn't talk about that.
And then also, I mean, his shoulder was fucked. Like, Benoit if that fight didn't get canceled, Benoit may have been able to like find something, but who knows how much his eye would have been. I get why they canceled it, but it was insane.
Oh, I thought it was the right call. Yeah, I thought his face was disgusting. But I was like, I regretted not betting on Moicano because I really thought he was going to win that fight, and I didn't bet on him. And I watched it. I was like, oh my God, what a fucking beatdown he laid on him. It was pretty crazy. Paris crowd is great, as they always are, singing along and doing their songs all night. I thought it was a pretty enjoyable card.
Yeah, I mean, you had Moicano. Those elbows in the first round were so vicious.
Yeah.
I mean, just smashing. And then Brian motherfucking Battle.
Yeah.
This guy, I said it when they booked the fight. The fact that he had got Kevin Juice it after the run he's been on is a fucking shame, and he showed it, and I'm glad.
And give this guy a fight. Promo afterwards.
Give this guy a real fight. Like, give him someone who give him if not top 15, someone that's like a guarantee, like the next one top 15. I don't know how many more fights he has to win. He's lost one fight in the UFC to Renat, who just wrestle fucked him. Whatever. I mean, good fighter. I mean, he's smashed basically everyone else he's fought.
Some of those punches that he was taking were special. Giussette landed some serious punches, and Battle just kept moving forward. And part of the reason I bet Giussette was I thought Battle seemed like he had a tough weight cut, and obviously punching hard off of a tough weight cut could lead to a knockout, but not for Brian Battle. And it was one of those moments that when we were talking about this fight prior to it, obviously, Robbie, you were in Chicago doing Surviving, but we were kind of like, why'd they do this fight? He had to go all the way to France for it. But looking back on it, he kind of had his moment, like I think his biggest moment yet, which was like he knocked him out, did the middle finger to the entire crowd, got up on it, and then also gave truly one of the best post-fight interviews of the year so far.
Yeah.
And he was disrespectful to France, but not to like a crazy degree.
I saw people like he was celebrating with the French outside the arena afterwards. Like, did you see that picture of him with like a group of them? They were like, we don't care. Like, he almost made it like a fun moment for them to boo. You know, like he played into the moment, he played into the emotions, and like treated it like it was a fucking wrestling match.
Yeah, I was gonna say it felt very, very WWE in the best way possible, because it was like, I'm the heel, but I don't hate you guys. He was
just acknowledging it, playing up the moment, turning it up to 11. That was good. I liked that. And shout out our boy, the steamroller, Matt Frivola. Didn't win, obviously, came up on the losing end of that one, but he's a warrior, always goes out on a shield, always delivers exciting fights. So shout out to him. Get well soon. Best wishes.
I was gonna say, seeing the Longo cheese roller video was
heartbreaking.
Broke my heart.
Yeah.
But the Ray Longo turn directly into the oh shit was oh man. Bad. Love for Steamroller.
Steamroller seems like he's all right.
He's gallivanting around France right now.
Yeah, he's with his kid. You know, can't wait to see him back in there. Maybe he'll take a little bit more time off. But I don't necessarily. I wouldn't say it was like, oh, he had a bad chin. He just got caught with he was toughing it out and just got caught with. Ferry Saim fought amazing. You got to give credit to him. And then Yeah, Moicano. And then we have a new enemy in the space, spinning back piss. For those who don't know, Lee is like one of the best social media guys out there. He's built Spinning Backfist Twitter up to almost 250,000 right now. We've obviously helped, but he's done 99% of it.
Yeah.
Now there's a fake account called Spinning Back Piss, and to be honest, Spinning Back Piss is pretty funny. And on Saturday, they tweeted out that Brian Battle was fined $250,000 by the French Athletic Commission and banned from competing in France because he walked out to blank in Paris by Kanye, and then also for his post-fight, what he was saying. I fell for it. And then also, Chael Sonnen fell for it and made a video about Brian Battle.
Yep.
And now there was one the other day that was also outrageous. I think I called it a spinning back piss W. What was it?
There was one that was spinning back fist with like one N.
Yep.
There's been a couple.
I don't know if it's the same guy or if we have multiple parody accounts.
Oh, after Therese Finney finished or got his contract,
that's right.
They said Dana White and the UFC plan to give Therese Finney 2 options per sources. Become the inaugural Dana White Contender Series middleweight champion, defend his title 2 times per season, or sign a UFC contract but take a 45% deduction each fight and 35% decrease if awarded bonus. And then he just put an emoji at the bottom like the shock. And it has 200.
Someone said Schaub fell for it too. Hot Billy said Schaub fell for it. That's right. I think he's talking about the Brian Battle one.
I mean, $250K. I mean, I don't know if he made $250K for the fight.
That would be the most insane fine in the history of sports.
I guess with his win show, and did he? I would say he didn't get a bonus, did he? I would say ZM got a bonus.
Moicano didn't get one.
I was like, Moicano didn't. Moicano was pissed. He's been complaining about it a lot. He was pissed.
Shit.
It was ZM got a bonus. Sherrier, he got a bonus.
Oh yeah.
There's knockout. I'm trying to think who else. Obviously, 2 other people. I don't know.
Chris Duncan.
That's right. Yes.
So those 4.
Wait, who's the 4th?
Morgan, Chris, Brian Battle.
Oh, Battle got the bonus.
Battle got one. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, Moicano should have got one for sure.
All right, you guys want to get into UFC 307 now? Before we do, we got to remind everyone about another one of our sponsors here, DraftKings. There it is. DraftKings, the best in the biz. We've been using them all season, all football season. We'll be using them as well. It's not just the leaves turning gold. There's lots of gold on the line at UFC 307. Jump in on all of the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. The light heavyweight and women's bantamweight titles are both up for grabs in this stacked night of fights. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code BACKFIST, that's code BACKFIST, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. We're also doing the DraftKings End Zone Crown Tournament. Boys, I'm still in. Can you believe that?
All 3 of us are.
We all are.
All 3 of us are?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, I don't think that's surprising. Like you guys, you tell me you guys are going to make it to the end. I would be like, no doubt they know the most about football. I've been picking names that sound funny to me. I picked Chuba Hubbard last week to buy back in. Boom, boom, boom. I keep picking names, forgetting who I picked. And then I have to hit up Jack and be like, the other Jack, and be like, who did I pick? And he's like, you picked so-and-so. They scored again. It's like unbelievable.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, I picked.
I'm surprised you didn't win. You had to buy back, so you had lost one.
I lost one, so I had
Yeah,
to
I was
get
gonna say
two
you
last
might have
week.
that one. You might have won the week with that one.
Damn. I have Jordan Mason this week. I took a chalk pick.
I like it though. I
Yeah.
like it.
I think
I
Robbie.
can't believe I'm still alive. I feel like if you look at the list, it's like 11 people that watch and know about football and Robbie Fox. And it's like, what the fuck is he doing there?
I think I'm gonna take Jordan Mason too. So we're either dead next week or not.
All right, we're riding together. I
Yeah,
love it.
I already used them. I gotta go another route. I'm undecided at the moment.
DraftKings, shout out DraftKings, making things exciting, making football season exciting for me. All right, let's talk about UFC 307 this weekend. I'm going to be in London when this goes down, so it's going to be weird time zones for me. I don't know how much of the card I'm going to be live tweeting, how much of the card I'm going to be watching live. I might be waking up early in the morning, avoiding spoilers, watching it. We'll see. We'll see what the Wi-Fi affords me. We kick things off with Court McGee and Tim Means. Kind of just like there's a style of fight in the UFC that's more of a just bleed style. You know, it's more of a tap out affliction shirt style fight. This is one of those, and I love it. This is a good fight to kick the card off. Exciting fight. I feel like hardcore fans are going to want to be in their seats early for this one. Court McGee plus 160, Tim Means minus 192. I think Tim Means probably got it in the bag, but this is one where I wouldn't be surprised if Court McGee pulled it out.
Yeah, I kind of like the under, but I'm afraid I'm going to take the under. The under 2.5 plus 165, and then it's going to be like a war that's a really gross beat. I feel like it's going to be just like goes to the bell. They're both bloody. They're hugging each other at the very end.
They both might look like Benoit Saint Denis at the end of this fight.
Old guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if I had to just pick the fight, I guess I would take Means. I don't think I would lay minus 190 on him here.
Yeah.
I'd probably play the under if I had to like pick like a bet.
Yeah. This is a fascinating fight. Two kind of older guys. I think I'm gonna just take Means by KO. It's up in the 300 range. Hopefully we start the night off with some some violence. And I think Court McGee is at the end of his career, and I think Tim Means will deliver a nice. And then also we have to remember and this is why I kind of like the under. I mean, I have to go back and look at other cards, but we are in Utah. Like, this is elevation. So it's going to be interesting.
If you like violence, you're going to love the next fight. Carla Esparza versus Tisha Pennington. Sorry, that was a unnecessary shot. Carla Esparza plus 154. Tisha Pennington minus 185. I believe this is Carla's last fight ever. I believe this is her retirement fight. She's done after this.
Yeah, it's like I want to bet her, but betting someone knowing like I'm even watching the embedded. She's like, oh, I have nothing to lose, but at the same time, you also have you have nothing to gain, but if you lose, it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah,
like a girl that's
want to go out on a high note, but
in that championship hunt, like most of her career, but obviously she got the belt. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I just don't want to. It's where I look at her and I don't love betting on someone that's going to retire, but I also don't love the idea of laying minus 185 on Tisha Pennington in the spot. If I had to bet it, I'd probably bet Esparza. I probably won't bet it.
I'm kind of with Av. I'm tempted by Tisha Torres / Pennington. I think Carla's kind of done. Carla seemed kind of done even after like her against Wei Li. Like, she kind of just was like, she was like, I won the belt, whatever, I don't care. And then she kind of just like got finished. Like and I kind of think
if you bet Carla, do you have to bet her decision just because, as Abraham pointed out in the chat, 22 decisions, 1 finish in her career?
Yeah, I would assume her decision props probably plus, instead of plus 140, plus 175.
145.
Yeah, like right there.
185. 154 money line, 185 decision.
I mean, we may want to get crazy, and round 3, Tisha's like she's a cardio machine, elevation. She doesn't have powerful hands, but she may make you quit. So I'm trying to look for a play here, but nothing that's like, oh my god, I love it.
Oh,
It's a
Abraham
fight.
said, by the way, that's me smack talking. I don't know if that's accurate. He just made that stat up. That was a Frank the Tank stat.
I think he's close to right because on Tapology, okay, she has 3 TKOs and then 5 submissions.
All right, she's got 8 finishes. Sorry for the disrespect on your retirement week, Carla.
She finished Janan Yan back in 2022 or 2021. And then but before that, she was all decisions. Oh, she we forgot about this. She submitted Rose Namajunas on the Ultimate Fighter back in the
finals.
day.
That's right, yeah.
But that guy's not that wrong. In her UFC career of actual fights, she only has 1 finish.
All right, fair enough.
Not including the Ultimate Fighter, but that doesn't count.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
Yeah, that's a weird other realm. Up next, we've got Ryan Spann versus Vince St. Preux. OSP coming back plus 200. He is against Ryan Spann minus 245. Is this one where the under makes sense? What is the under here?
I kind of like
1.5, like minus
1.5 minus 110. I don't know. I feel like it's a fight where Spann either knocks him out or OSP finds a weird fucking, Von Flue choke and quick and finishes him and reminds us like the old guy still got it.
Well, let's not forget OSP is off one of the biggest upsets of the year against Petty and Checkwill. And to be honest, if Ryan Spann doesn't finish or doesn't find something here, I think the old dog can kind of show us that he has something. We could even see a finish late. I'm definitely going to be on plus 200.
Oh yeah,
I think this is a close fight. Now, is there a chance OSP just gets deaded? Yeah, but I mean, it's a plus 200 dog.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say pretty much if you like Spann, I think you should just bet him like in the first round.
Yeah.
Because he's
the longer it goes on for sure.
He's plus 175 in the first round. So I think if you want to bet Spann, like he's minus 115 by KO. I would, if I was going to be on the Spann side, I'd rather just take him first round. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, he's like coming off a win. Spann's just so wishy-washy. Didn't this fight got canceled because Spann had like a bad weight cut or something happened to him?
I think
they rebook it for a few months later. I'll probably be on OSP plus 200 also.
Yeah, you know me. We're down with OSP. Come on.
I'd rather take that than take the just like Spann round 1.
Yeah. Then we've got Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Potieria. Cesar Almeida's minus 375. Is there any play there? Cesar Almeida's going to win. What is he buying?
Minus 225 by knockout.
By knockout, yeah.
Can you imagine Ihor at elevation in round 2? That man he may die. Like he may have to
you might need to call in the Greg Hardy inhaler mid-round.
So I mean like Almeida, even though it's like they're not huge numbers, Almeida 2 and 3, like 275 and 500. I mean, Ihor stinks. I'm just like he's just not good. I mean, he has lost to guys in the UFC that I think are just like bad. And I agree with Jack. Like he has no cardio, and if he can just survive the first round, like I think I'll sprinkle some Almeida like 2 and 3. I just think Almeida should wipe the floor with him. I mean, he's such a better striker. He trains with Poatan.
Then we've got Alexander Hernandez versus Austin Hubbard. Austin Hubbard makes his return plus 130 against Alexander Hernandez minus 155. Are you guys buying into Alexander Hernandez yet again here? Because I'm still not convinced. I think I will definitely be on Austin Hubbard.
I don't know what to do here.
I'm pretty like I don't have a hard conviction either way. I mean it's classic like Hernandez is definitely more athletic, more explosive, hits harder kind of thing, but then Hubbard's probably a little more durable, little maybe a little more well-rounded, just like a little more like just tougher, just like more can hang around. Like if it gets late, it could get interesting. I probably won't even have a bet on this. I don't. Yeah, Hernandez. It's like every time I like want him to have that like big moment and like show that flash again, I feel like he just lets you down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Maybe Hernandez inside the distance, but I don't have a bet yet.
Hubbard just like because I'm not like crazy about Hubbard by any means, but it's just like is he durable enough to take a beating and then like win? I think he is probably.
Yeah, like that's.
But I also like you said I wouldn't be shocked at all if Hernandez just like bonked him.
And also like Hubbard does kind of have.
He's tough. Like he's a durable guy. I mean,
Yeah.
Then we've got Lucindo versus Rodriguez, I think. Sorry, I lost my spot. Yes. Lucindo Rodriguez. Lucindo minus 198. Marina Rodriguez plus 164. I like feel similar to the Esparza fight almost, where it's like I wouldn't want to lay minus 198 on Lucindo here. I might just bet Marina Rodriguez plus 164 and hope for something good there.
I like Marina. I just it's one of those like young versus old like older lady, but I mean just the experience level, just like the level of competition she's fought is so much better. I mean, even her losses, you look. I mean, they're to Andrade at 300. They're to Lemos. Like they're in a fight that you argue she was winning, and Lemos just smashed her. Yeah, I think Rodriguez plus 164. If it loses, it loses.
Or decision plus 215.
Yeah,
a little more
Lucindo's
juice.
had some good wins, but she also she lost to Yasmin too. I don't know. I just think the level of competition, you're gonna be like this high plus money. I'll definitely be on Marina.
I agree. I kind of think you have these situations where a new girl is on the block, there's a lot of hype, and then Marina, who's had wins and losses in the UFC, but some pretty good wins, some pretty good losses, and Marina always brings it. So I think Marina is a good bet. Maybe even by finish or something, or maybe but I think I'll end up on Marina at some point. I'm not 100% sold yet, but I think she's the side.
Then we've got Wonder Boy versus Buckley. Wonder Boy plus 180 versus Joaquin Buckley minus 218. Fun matchup here. I hope, it's a matchup where it'll allow Wonder Boy to be exciting, show maybe some shades of young Wonder Boy, mix things up, throw some crazy kicks. I don't know how I feel it. Like I really do want Wonder Boy to win this fight. I think I'll bet on him. I'm not fully convinced, but plus 180 is like enough to give him a shot, I think.
Does Buckley wrestle here?
Yeah,
I'm hoping he doesn't.
Because I think that's like the $1 million question. Does he wrestle here?
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, he's going to lose. And I'm not even so sure if he does that he will win.
Yeah.
I think he can. I think he can potentially win doing it. But I don't think – I don't know. I – I think the people like the Gilbert Burns's and the Bilal's like of recent men who have just wrestle fucked him and held him on the mat. Like, I don't think Buckley's that caliber wrestler that can just hold him down for 15 minutes basically. I mean, I don't see that.
Yeah. There's a huge age gap here, I'm pretty sure. Joaquin.
Definitely.
I mean, Wonder Boy's 39, 40.
Yeah.
Joaquin's 30. I mean, it's not saying a lot by saying this is the end of the road for Wonder Boy, but I think Joaquin just
41, yeah.
and his style is tough because I mean, On the feet, I think Wonderboy's better, but he's getting slower and whatnot. Joaquin hits hard, and then he can also incorporate his wrestling. I think the UFC almost kind of knows what they're doing here with a win for Buckley, kind of continuing to push him a little bit into stardom.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever be a star, but let's say he stuffs the wrestling, which he has done in the past. He's not like his takedown defense outside of Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert. He was phenomenal. So he has it in him. It's just he's old now, man. It's tough when you get up there in age. It's specifically with these guys that are so athletic, like Joaquin, that can really just overpower you. It's tough, but 3 rounds kind of helps Wonderboy a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
I'll probably if I had to make a bet, I probably would on Wonderboy, to be honest.
Just straight money line.
He's plus 185. It actually went up.
I just saw that. Yeah,
literally live. Yeah, it's plus 185. Yeah, I just not a huge Buckley guy in that way. I mean, could he win? Sure, but I think plus 185. I'll take Wonderboy.
I believe weigh-ins have been going on. Ketlin Vieira made weight. Khalil Roundtree made weight. Khalil Roundtree was the first to the scale. Wonderboy made weight. Juliana. Seems like nobody missed yet. We're 17 minutes. Here's from Aaron Bronstetter. We are 17 minutes into the weigh-in window and are only waiting on Alex Pereira, Jose Aldo, Cesar Almeida, and OSP. Everyone else has made weight.
Okay. That's good. Like, hopefully they're on weight.
Yeah. And like you said, we're only – that was a few minutes ago, but there was only 17 minutes into the window, so they got plenty of time.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be shocked if Poton had any issues.
Knock on wood. Abraham says knock on wood. He's
on
right.
the embedded, he was eating a turkey leg, which I thought was surprising.
The look they edited of Glover looking at him, so funny.
Because Cesar Almeida's over sitting there, he's like, I can't eat that.
Yeah.
Poton's massive. Like, I don't think people really understand the video that he posted last night on Instagram. In 12 hours, has 13.5 million views.
It's crazy.
It was the one
garbage video one.
Yeah,
that was funny. That was funny. What a world we live in where, like, you know, the Chuck Liddell, Rampage Jackson, Just Bleed era of the UFC. If you would have told them that the UFC champions in 2024 are going to be popular because they make like goofy comedy skits on Instagram, what a different world we live in now. Crazy. Onto the main card, UFC 307, Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. I like this fight. I think this fight could be exciting. I think it could be fight of the night. Kevin Holland minus 155, Roman Dolidze plus 130. Kevin Holland, we've talked about it recently. He's just been like kind of an inconsistent fighter. You don't know which Kevin Holland you're going to get this year. Because of that, I think I'm going to take Dolidze as an underdog and kind of just hope for the best there as well.
Yeah, I think I'll be on Dolidze. I think he has a path to victory, specifically with the wrestling. His strength is very evident. We know that. And Kevin Holland's just like, I don't know. Dolidze seems like Kevin Holland. Don't get me wrong. He's a hard worker. He's been great in the UFC, but I think Kevin Holland's a guy they call in and he makes a lot of money and he takes fights. Dolidze is like a guy that takes deep pride in winning and losing. And I think even the Georgian kind of run that we've seen recently with Ilya and Merab, he wants to continue that. Not to say he'll get a title, but I like him here, especially at his price. And also his ground and pound's legit. His submission game's not bad. I think there's a real chance he even finds a finish. Holland's not awful on the ground, but like he's going to be susceptible to this.
Yeah, I mean, Dolidze is one of my favorite plays in the card. Yeah, I mean, it's just tough to like Holland at this point. I mean, Jack, I thought you said it very well. Like he just isn't tied to winning and losing the same way like some guys are at this point because he makes a lot of money no matter if he wins or loses. And I think Delize has like multiple pass here. I agree with you. I thought about like he's plus 550 inside the distance. I think he's like 14-1 by sub. I think those are worth a look. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be on Delize money line significantly.
The only thing that concerns me a little bit is that like Holland is faster than him. He uses his range to his advantage. And I also didn't know this when I was looking into this fight. Holland's significantly younger than Delize.
Yeah.
But cardio is probably the same. Strength, I would give the edge to Delize. And then, yeah, outside of, and then like I think the speed, how Delize loses this makes sense to me. Obviously, like just Holland just avoids the takedowns, is on the outside. His speed is really great, but if Delize can kind of find a way to get inside and get those takedowns, I think he can steal some rounds. But he has to do some stuff on the ground to really, because obviously these judges are not just counting takedowns like they used to.
Then we've got Kayla Harrison versus Caitlin Vieira. I don't even think I think the odds have drastically changed from the time that I even interviewed Kayla. I think she became an even bigger favorite. She's minus 1,100. Vieira plus 700. Vieira was mean to Kayla at the presser. She was like, "You have an ugly face." She was like, "Jesus." Kayla was like, "My mom thinks I'm pretty," and then I think Vieira was like, she said something like, "If your mom doesn't think you're pretty, you're in trouble," or something. Your mom's the only one, I think she said. But it was bad because Vieira obviously doesn't speak English. So the translator had to say this to Kayla Harrison. He was like, "You have an ugly face." And there's a guy's voice. It was just like, it was bad. Like Kayla almost like laughed at the absurdity of a translator having to say that to her. But yeah, obviously Kayla Harrison is going to win this fight. I don't know if there's any bet on her. Like,
By TKO. By KO.
Yeah, like 275. I think by TKO.
Oh, okay.
I think and like
plus
300.
240 it is by KO TKO.
I think 300. Yeah, 300 by sub.
Oh, I like, any one of those. I would sprinkle on maybe each of those.
She's plus 110 inside the distance. Yeah, I think she get a finish here. I mean, I think she's going to be so much physically like stronger. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think she wins. I mean, this is just made. It's just made for her to fight the winner of the co-main event.
Yeah, it like feels weird, almost like they're buying time with Kayla. Like this fight's a little unnecessary. If you just said, "Hey, we're giving Kayla a title shot against the winner," and this fight was never booked, nobody has an issue with that.
Yeah, so I'm a little confused why they just didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I asked her about that in the interview. I was like, "Hey, like, do you ever feel like the fans are ready to see me get a title shot? Why am I not in a title shot?" And she was kind of like, "Nah." She's like, "I get it. I'm the new person around here. I got to fight my way up to the top."
All right. I mean,
I think Pena, as much as people like her, don't like her, I think it kind of was like, I feel like it was just kind of like a foregone conclusion. She was gonna get the next one.
Yeah. Also, Cesar Almeida just made weight, so he's all good. And then we've got Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista. Aldo plus 124, Bautista minus 148. This is a good fight too. I like this fight. I think I like Jose Aldo in this fight. I think I doubted him in his last fight real hard. Who did he fight last?
Jonathan Martinez.
That's right. And I think I was on Martinez there, and I think I was kind of like, I think it might be Aldo slowing down, and I regretted that.
So I was on him again. I was on Aldo against Martinez. I think I'm going to be on him again too. And I like Bautista a lot. I'm just we've just known Aldo for so long to have such good takedown defense. Even in the fights, like even in like the Merab fight where he got kind of squashed with like the pressure, he wasn't getting like taken down and held down.
No,
he just kind of had like Merab just kind of had him in a pretzel. Like he just didn't know what to do. Like he just didn't know how to.
He was looking at the camera Merab. Doing the yawning motion.
Yeah, he just didn't know how to handle Merab. Because it just stays in the feet. Like I just really think that Aldo. I really think he wins. I don't know. He just looks so sharp in the Martinez fight.
Yeah,
that I think I'm gonna go with him again. I like Aldo here.
Yeah. I'm going back and forth. I don't know if I'll even have a bet here because I kind of agree with Ev, and then I'm so high on Batista. But Aldo's resurgence, it's not even really a resurgence. Like he's just been the same, has been really impressive, and this is a hell of a fight. I don't have a play yet. I kind of echo a lot of the things that Ev said, but I think Batista may be too much for him. But what he did against
Batista's got to
Merab,
be much. Batista's got to be a lot longer, right?
he is, and he's 7 years younger than him. Specifically at the weight class that they are fighting at. That 7 year gap is huge. When you get up higher in weight classes, obviously it's just a little bit not as big of a deal. But I mean, Aldo's a dog. I mean, Jonathan Martinez was, much younger than him too. It's not to say that it's just a disadvantage. That speed aspect's so huge, but Aldo may buck that trend because his speed is still there.
And even looking at just on paper measurables, he's 2 inches shorter, 2-inch shorter reach, like not crazy at a disadvantage in terms of size. I thought the size gap was actually a little bigger than that. It actually makes me feel a little bit better about Aldo. Yeah, I think Aldo will be as fast, if not faster, with his hands. I think at least. I mean,
he could be. Like you said, he looked super sharp in the last fight. He looked great.
Yeah, I mean, like Martinez, obviously a young guy, and I think Martinez is a better striker than Batista is. Doesn't nearly pose the grappling threat that Batista does.
Then we've got the.
Yeah, I think I gotta go with Aldo.
And then Batista, I mean, Batista's good, but like we need to remind ourselves. Like his last few fights, Jay Perrin, not in the UFC anymore. Brian Boom Kelleher, probably not in the UFC anymore. Benito Lopez, he has not fought since then, probably not in the UFC anymore. Guido Canetti, not in the UFC anymore. Cody Garbrandt, canceled fight. Damon Blackshear wins by decision.
And that was a close-ass fight. And that was when Blackshear took the fight. He had fought like the week before. And then there was that one in Boston, and that was a very close fight.
And then Ricky Simone, who since then got kind of dominated by Vinicius Oliveira. So like this hype around Batista, and also in those fights, most of them, it wasn't like he was just killing them. There were some dominant decisions, but the Damon Blackshear one, I mean, it was very close. So his best win since then is Damon Blackshear. I mean, we don't have to go through Jose Aldo's resume. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
And also, if you're going to say, well, that was like in his past, Jonathan Martinez would have been by far Batista's best win if he was in that resume that we just said. So I kind of like feel like I just almost convinced myself to bet on Jose Aldo.
There we go. We came to a conclusion there. The co-main event, I cannot come to a conclusion on. Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena. Pennington minus 166 as of right now. Juliana Pena plus 140. I don't have a read on this at all, to be honest. I think it's going to be kind of a boring fight. But I just, like, maybe because I don't have a read on it, I'll take the underdog. I just don't know.
Raquel, I think Raquel's just in a better spot than Juliana. I don't know how much Juliana wants it anymore. I think Juliana has one of the biggest upsets in UFC history, but it's just I don't know what was going on with Amanda there.
She didn't train.
She didn't train. Like I think it was just. And Juliana, like to be completely honest, just is like she's whatever. And I think Raquel's just better. I'm not thrilled about laying the price on her though. So, but I'm not going to bet Juliana. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Pennington wins. Don't know if I'll bet it, but it's one of those I'm conflicted in the betting aspect because I feel pretty like solidly that I think Pennington's going to win. But I agree it's the Leng, the minus 166, but at the same time, like I feel pretty confident that she's going to win. I feel good about it. I feel like you said where she is as a fighter. went 5 hard rounds. Not to say Penny's done it a few times, but I mean the last time we saw her go 5 hard rounds, she got the break speed off her for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Like you saw what that fight looked like when Nunez trained. Like it was a rout. It was not close. She got battered for 5 rounds. She was lucky that it went 5 rounds.
Yeah.
She had dropped 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Not that Pennington I think is going to drop her like that or anything. Maybe not 4 times, but yeah, I think Pennington wins at like a decent clip. So maybe I will bet it. Maybe even throw it in as like a parlay piece with something else I like. But yeah, I like Pennington.
Then in the main event, Alex Pereira once again stepping up, saving a card, taking a title fight against Khalil Roundtree Jr. Roundtree plus 350, Alex Poton minus 455. White Sox Dave texted me yesterday, and he said, does Roundtree have any shot in this fight? And I said, I don't think so. Do you guys think Roundtree has any shot in this fight? Evie, you said it's more of a 50-50 fight than people would expect.
Yeah, it's one of those where, like, listen, if you put a gun in my head and said you have to pick the winner of this fight to save your life, I would say Poatan. I wouldn't even think about it. I'd say that's the guy. If I die, I die. That's kind of how I feel about it. But I just think it's such like in a fight like this where it's two two heavy hitters, 2 strikers. I think it'll always be more 50-50 than the people want to give it credit. But at the same time, like I still think it's definitely more likely that Pereira just like sleeps him.
Yeah.
But if Roundtree knocked him out, I think I would be much less shocked than like the general public would be.
Okay. I would
like,
be
and to me, I would say this:
like,
if you're gonna bet Roundtree, just bet him by KO. This thing ain't going 5 rounds.
No. Yeah. No.
Like if you're gonna bet him plus 350, just bet him plus 500 by knockout.
You got to take. I would like. Can you even play Alex round 1, round 2 knockout at a decent price? 185 and 400.
Yeah, I mean it's probably. Honestly, I think if you're gonna do it if you're gonna do
he's plus 200 or so, round 1 KO, and then he's around 4-1 round 2 KO Poton. I don't think this sees a 3rd round. I'd be shocked.
I don't think so either.
Even sees like midway through the 2nd.
Yeah, all right. So Pereira in under 1.5 rounds is plus 110. Basically, Pereira in the first 7.5 minutes plus 110. I don't hate that.
Yeah,
if you're just looking for action on Pereira, like that's probably how I would do it.
Yeah,
but it's under what is it? Plus 1 what?
Plus 110, but under 2.5. Pereira win and under 2.5 is minus 200.
The only thing I'd say there is you can just you might as well just take the under 1.5. That's minus 105 on DraftKings because there's a chance Roundtree finds it. So and it's not like that's plus 150, plus 110, but yeah, I this is Poton's fight to lose. I really just don't see this getting far. I just see these two, and what we've seen from Poton since he's been on this run is he really goes for it, and Roundtree goes for it too. Now, there's always a chance you have 2 guys in there that are kind of scared of each other, but Poton hasn't been scared of anyone. I think Roundtree, there's a chance the moment's too big for him. I really do, and I really think there's a chance that Poton gets in there. And he kind of is fighting scared, and Poton just he knocks him out silly.
I think people almost get mesmerized by him a little bit. Like he has this way of almost like I almost feel like it happened with Jamal Hill a little bit. I know they had the weird the thing with the cup that kicked him in the cup, but he almost has this way of putting you in this. I mean, Yuri kind of the same thing. For a guy who's I wouldn't say a distant striker that he's, but just someone who a power striker who has length, he really does go for it. We've never seen him Pereira doesn't shy away from action. When have we ever seen him one time even have a feel out round?
Yeah,
even Adesanya, even Adesanya fights, they're in there trading.
Yep.
And he's not
Willie pointed out,
even though you can make a case I wouldn't say he's chinny. But I mean, he can be knocked out. Clearly, he's not indestructible. And there is just a weird thing with someone like this who whenever in the MMA world, whenever everyone thinks someone's too good and there's no chance they lose, weird shit just happens.
True.
I don't know. There's a part of me that has a little bit of that, like a little bit of that feeling about this fight where I'm just like what if Roundtree just clips him? Like, I mean, it's very possible.
It's possible. Pereira is now the only fighter that hasn't made weight yet. He has 10 minutes to do so.
That turkey leg.
Yeah, that turkey leg might
Lover
come
was like,
back to
"Why'd you
bite him.
fucking eat that?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's the card.
We should make a parlay. It's requested from our friends over at DraftKings.
Yep.
Before we make the parlay, we do need to remind everybody that PFL Battle of the Giants October 19th pay-per-view is coming up. We are 15 days away. Francis Ngannou against Hanan Ferreira. It's a great fight. There's some other amazing fights on the card. Ev and I just interviewed Johnny Eblin. That will be coming out soon. We'll be doing a lot of stuff leading up to this, but we do remind everyone, October 19th on pay-per-view, Battle of the Giants. Some great fights. We'll be watching. We'll be making content. There's some talks of a watch along with it. So we're trying to provide some great content surrounding this. If you are in Saudi Arabia, go to the fight. It's going to be sick. If not, it's on DAZN and ESPN Plus.
Yep.
It's one of the best pay-per-views we've seen in a while outside of the UFC. So shout out to PFL, who's always been a big help to us, a big sponsor, and we will be tuning in no matter what.
And like Jack said, keep an eye out for potential watch along stuff, fun stuff in the works with this card. It's gonna be very cool.
Okay, so pay-per-view, or sorry, not pay-per-view, parlay.
Yes.
I'm thinking under 2.5 Poton Roundtree, Raquel Pennington.
Yep. Okay.
And then
I was on the same. If we want to get crazy, I was going to say we do Delide Aldo.
Yeah, that
Unless
would
you
both of them.
That'd be what, like 13-1?
Delide Aldo, Pennington, and under 2.5, or under 2.5. I think would be, where is it? Under 1.5 would be like 15-1.
But under 2.5 gets us to what, like 10-1?
Let me see where. I can't find how to do like just under 2.5. Like, oh, I got it. Oh, yeah,
Alex made weight.
11-1. If we did Delide, Aldo, Pennington, and then under 2.5 in the main event, it'd be plus 1109.
The only thing is, I think the public really wants to have something on Poton. We could do the Poton and under 2.5.
I think we just go with the under. I think we just leave it under 2.5.
All right, okay.
I think that's right.
Because
yeah.
him and under 2.5 was minus 200.
Yeah.
And it's minus 215. So like you're giving some little insurance on like if Roundtree does something.
All right, I'm going to send that over to Jack McCarthy right now. And that'll be up soon, guys. We will advertise it on our socials. And thanks for supporting. Leave a like, comment, whatnot.
And hey, we knocked on wood. All the fighters made weight. We're good.
Boom. Pereira, wait.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. I'll be out next week. These guys will be holding down the fort. But I'll be tweeting along and stuff. So follow along.